I'm Soul Ring MTG, and in this video I'll be opening up this Mystery Booster Convention Edition box, and I'll be joined with a very special guest from Wizards of the Coast, Gavin Verhey. And he was the lead game designer for the playtest cards here in this set. And here's the hoping that I pull a Sliv Drazi, because if you follow me on any of my socials, you know that I love my Sliver deck. Enjoy! So Gavin, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me.
Oh yeah, of course. I am excited to be here. I mean, I love opening packs. Who doesn't, right? So let's crack these open and see what fun cards we get. And maybe I'll have a few fun stories along the way. We'll see.
Perfect. And for those watching, we did film a second video. The link will be in the description. And it's an interview with Gavin about all things mystery boosters and the playtest cards. All right. And I'm opening up the box.
Oh, so exciting. Nothing like that pull off the wrapper feel of a brand new Magic box.
Yeah, and I love how sleek these black ones look.
Yeah, the packaging, the team did a great job on it. We were trying to figure out how do we show off like mystery or, you know, some kind of unknown element. And they just went with, well, how about something very sleek and subtle? And we tried a lot of different designs. There were some that showed off like all kinds of cards from throughout history. But no, this is truly a mystery. And you know, when the set was debuted, we debuted it at Grand Prix Richmond, Magic Fest Richmond, which we didn't tell anyone about the set and what was in it in advance. So people played sealed for the first time, not knowing what was going on in the set, which is pretty wild. It was pretty wacky.
Oh, that's awesome. So for the first one, there's row 1, 2, or 3. What one? 1, 2, or 3 should I pick?
Let's start with row 2. Let's start in the middle. Like all good stories, we'll start in the middle.
All right. So these are the Mystery Booster Convention Editions from 2021. So there's a few differences between these and the 2019. I think one of which is a Planeswalker symbol.
Yeah, so there's a few card differences. There's a few cards from the main set that were tweaked. Yawgmoth's Testament, for example, has new art, a couple things like that. Just some small modifications that were made to update it. But on the whole, it's pretty close to the original set. We wanted to keep basically the feel of the original and just fix a couple of things to bring it more in line with what we intended to do and our standards.
Okay, so I opened the first pack of row 2, and we have a War Behemoth, 3/6 creature beast.
Yeah, and it has morph, is that right?
It does, yeah, for 5.
Oh, I'm so good at memorizing. For everyone at home, by the way, I can't see the cards that Alyssa is opening. I'm just trying to recite them off memory here. So I'm glad I nailed that. We'll see how many I can get correct. Yeah, so this is a nice morph common from Khans of Tarkir block. I love morph in Mystery Booster because it truly is mysterious. It is not only your opponent could have anything, but they morphed a creature. That's even more wild. Like, it's like, oh, I don't know what the thing they played is. So that was a lot of fun.
All right, moving on to the next. We have Gideon's Lawkeeper.
Oh man, this is a great tapper. Fun fact about this, so it's a 1-mana 1/1 that you can pay a white to tap a creature. Fun fact about Gideon's Lawkeeper is it is a different version of another card, of a Kithkin that showed up in Lorwyn. But when we were making the core set that Gideon's Lawkeeper appeared in, we thought it would be cool if it was themed to Gideon. It made a lot of sense for his character, and Gideon was a big part of, I believe this was core set, I guess Magic Origins was what it's called. I believe this was Magic Origins where this card debuted. I could be wrong. But anyway, we wanted it to be themed to Gideon, and so we made a new version that was not a Kithkin for that set. And it's a great common. A tapper is always nice, and at 1 mana, this card has even made cubes, so it's a great card.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, next up, we have Crashing Tide.
Yeah, this is a card where, once again, it's pretty fun to find random synergies, and so things that upgraded very slightly, like this, were pretty fun to do because maybe you'll have a Merfolk in play. One thing we were careful about was we didn't do a lot in the set based on creature type, because on some of the older cards, the creature types are incorrect or have changed. But with some things that are pretty obvious, is it a Merfolk, is it not a Merfolk, we thought it would be pretty okay to do here. So that's kind of where this came from.
Oh, cool. Next up, we have a Mahamoti Djinn.
Yeah, Mahamoti Djinn. This is a classic Magic card. It showed up in the very first Magic set Alpha. and was a fan favorite. I mean, this is like Shivan Dragon and Nightmare level of the early days. Like if you had Mahamoti Jin, you were playing with power. These days, it's more of an uncommon card, a 6-mana, 5/6 flyer, but still packs a punch in limited.
Oh, that's really cool. The fact that it also came out at the beginning, too.
Yeah, to me, that's just like a classic Magic card. You talk about Shivan Dragon, Mahamoti Jin, Nightmare, Sarah Angel, all that kind of stuff. Force of Nature.
Awesome. So next, we have Krumar Bonkin, the warrior.
Yeah, another nice Khans of Tarkir card here. Fun to pull from.
Next up, Ravenous Chupacabra, the classic in black.
Man. Now, if I were drafting this set, that would be the first card my eyes gravitated to. Back in the Mirage block in Visions, I believe, we had Necrotal, which was a 4-mana 2/1 first striker. When it entered the battlefield, it killed off a creature. And that's basically always been a good effect. It was great then, it's good now. And in Rivals of Ixalan, or is it Ixalan or Rivals? I think it's Rivals of Ixalan, where Ravenous Chupacabra appears. It still saw a ton of standard play. So great card, and still sees play in Commander and Cubes today.
Yeah, I have this in a few of my Commander decks as well. Such a good one.
One of the things I love about Mystery Booster is when you crack a pack, you'll usually find something that you feel like, oh, I could put this in a deck, right? And because you have more uncommons than normal, you have some other stuff going on. So Ravenous Chupacabra is a card that's, we're already a few cards into this pack, and boom, you're finding cards you'll put in your deck.
Mm-hmm.
You'll note, by the way, as we go through this pack, it's a little different than how normal Magic packs are collated. Mystery Booster packs always go 2 white cards, 2 blue cards, 2 black cards, 2 red cards, 2 green cards, or not necessarily in that order, but there's always 2 white, 2 blue, 2 black, 2 red, 2 green that are either commons or uncommons. And then you have 1 card that is either an artifact or a land, 1 multicolored card, 1 old card frame card, so that's pre-M15, 1 rare or mythic rare, and then 1 playtest card. So it's a very interesting kind of collation we did for this set, because every slot in every pack is its entire own 121 card sheet that it can pull from. So you get a ton of variety. Sorry to interrupt, but I just thought that was interesting.
Oh no, I love that. I think that's super cool too. All right, next we're in red, Flame Jab.
Oh, boom, take a damage. Yeah, this is from Eventide, where Retrace was a mechanic, and you could just keep dealing 1 over and over. A fun fact about this card, though, is it triggers all your things that trigger when you cast from a graveyard. So a lot of flashback Matters cards interact with this. For example, Burning Vengeance will deal 2 damage to any target whenever you retrace this. So that's a fun little synergy for you.
Ooh, I love that. I definitely need to make another red one. The second red one is Fierce Invocation.
Right, this is another card that has to do with morphing. This manifests a card from the top of your library. So that's a mechanic from Fate Reforged, a little play on the morph mechanic there, which is a lot of fun.
Next up, we have a worm, the Broadhunter Worm.
Is this a 4-mana 4/3?
Yeah. Yep.
Boom. Yeah, this is 4-mana 4/3 vanilla from Zendikar, I believe. Just attacks and blocks. We've done the 3G 4/3 a number of times in Magic. The one I always think of is Order of the Sacred Bell from Kamigawa block, but it's a nice staple stat line for green.
All right, and then the other green is a Human Druid. It's a Sentinel Woodreaders.
Oh, I love Sentinel Woodreaders. This card is great. It showed up in Planar Chaos originally, and I love how flexible this card is, because if you want to, it can be a 3-mana 1/4 to block and stop the bleeding, but long game, you can cast it at 6 mana and draw 2 cards as like a green Muldrifter. So I love flexible cards, and this is a great one.
Yeah, I love anything that gives me draw. If I'm drawing, I'm happy. All right, and the next one is a Wayfaring Temple, an elemental.
Oh yeah, this was originally a rare in Return to Ravnica, and then was downshifted in a master set, I believe. And it populates, so it's great with all your token stuff. And really, the multicolored cards can come from anywhere and everywhere. They're pretty wacky. So yeah, this is from Ravnica, and it's just a 1 lone populate card hanging out in the multicolored cards there. And you get to do some fun stuff with it if you find the right tokens.
All right, next we have the artifact, Aether Spellbomb.
Oh man, Ether Spell Bomb. So in the original Mirrodin, there were a cycle of 5 spell bombs, and they all saw play to some degree or another, whether in wacky combo decks like the green one, or the blue and red ones, which were pretty efficient cards. And bouncing either their creature later on or drawing a card just gives you such flexibility. You can return this to your hand or play to draw more cards or bounce more things really easily. Great common.
All right, and next up we have a dragon. Dragon Broodmother.
Here's Dragon Broodmother. Yeah, this uses the Devour mechanic. It's from Conflux, I believe. And yeah, it's a dragon that makes more baby dragons, so that's always a good time. And you can then, of course, devour things, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome. And I got the Planeswalker, Liliana Death Magistry.
Oh, awesome. That's the Amonkhet one, I believe. It was fun picking which Planeswalkers to go in this set. And this felt like a appropriate one to do here. It's, very flexible. You can make zombies, you can mill yourself, and or you can reanimate something. So yeah, just a cool card.
That's awesome. And yeah, the -7s destroy all non-zombie creatures. That'd be cool. And for the playtest card, we have a Sliv Mizzet.
What? No way! That's awesome. That's one of the coolest ones to open up. That is actually a card from designed by Aaron Forsyth. It was one of the first ones he pitched to me. He just said the word Sliv Mizzet, and I was like, I can do the rest. And I designed the card. Fun fact on Sliv Mizzet is that the flavor text on original Niv Mizzet had this kind of joke, where if you turn it sideways, it reads in a certain way. And this Niv Mizzet plays on that joke as well. I think it is the only Mystery Booster playtest card with flavor text. So you all can go look and stare at that later and figure it out, but it's pretty cool.
Well, that is an amazing first pull. Wow.
Yeah, we got Liliana and Sliv Mizzet in the same pack. Boom, that's a great open.
Yeah, I'm just putting a hidden sleeve on my Liliana. Wow, that's awesome. So for the next pack, row 1, 2, or 3?
I'm very much of the do the rows evenly, So let's go with the first row, I guess. We started in media res. Now we'll go back to the beginning and crack the first pack on the left.
All right, here we go. Pack number 2. And let's turn it around. So the first white one is Desperate Sentry.
Desperate Sentry.
It's a human soldier. And it makes Eldrazi horrors. So when it dies, put a 3/2 colorless Eldrazi horror creature token onto the battlefield, and it has Delirium. So it gets +3/+0 as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard.
That makes sense. It's from Shadows over Innistrad, Eldritch Moon. I think this is from Eldritch Moon because it makes Eldrazi. So that's cool. It's a way to sacrifice stuff in white. Gives you some Delirium bonus. Neat card.
And the other white one is Dawnglare Invoker, a core.
Oh my gosh,
wizard.
What a beating this card is. Dawnglare Invoker is one of the best commons in Rise of the Eldrazi Limited, and it's a very, very brutal magic card. Because once you hit 8 mana, you just do it every turn and your opponent never gets to attack you unless they can kill your Dawnglare Invoker. In a set this large, we thought it would be okay to include, but definitely a first pickable worthy card.
And what's cool too, it's not 8 and tap it. So you can technically have 16 mana, right? And do it to 2 people.
Yeah, if you're playing multiplayer, you can do that. In one-on-one limited, though, where I think you will often play this card the most, it is 8 mana, lock your opponent out of the game every turn. So it's a brutal common.
Wow, and a 3 cost. Next is blue. We have Failed Inspection.
Yeah, counter a spell. The 4 mana counter spell for limited is a space that we try and play around with. It makes like kind of a weak counter spell, but you'll play it sometimes. And that's what Failed Inspection is doing. It's not great, but you can play it every now and then and get a little bonus for your efforts.
And the other blue is Diminish.
Oh yeah, this card caused a number of rules headaches when it came out because people had trouble understanding how the shrinking down to 1/1 worked with pump effects. So we don't do this effect a ton, We like doing it every now and then, and it's cool to give kind of blue a pseudo removal spell, right? They block your creature, you diminish it, and their thing dies. Plus, you just have that cute cat in the artwork, so gotta love that.
Little cat and the dragon. All right, for black, we have Prowling Pangolin. Beast 6/5.
Yeah, it's the Prowling Pangolin. This originally debuted in Onslaught block, and it's what we call a Punisher card, where you get a thing unless your opponent does something to opt out of it. So you get a 5-mana 6/5, or your opponent can sack 2 creatures to opt out of it. It's kind of the story being told here. And yeah, I don't know. It's also a pangolin. There's very few pangolins in Magic, so that's kind of cool.
Nice. The other black one is Innocent Blood. Each player sacks a creature for 1.
This showed up in Odyssey, and it was a pretty popular played card because this is a great example of a symmetrical card that you can break, because it asks you both to sacrifice a creature, but if you cast this with no creatures in play, you just kill off their creature for 1 mana. So they'll play a 1-drop, for example, and you Innocent Blood it away without a creature in play, and you end up pretty far ahead on the exchange.
Yeah. All right. Red, we have Chandra's Pyrohex.
Oh, yeah, just a classic Chandra.
Yeah,
a classic Chandra deal some damage card. There was a lot of debate in design as to if we could call this Fire being the red half of the Fire Ice split card. Ultimately, we didn't, and we just let Chandra do her thing with Chandra's Pyrohelix.
Nice. And then the other red one is a Zealot of the God Pharaoh.
Yeah, coming in hot from Amonkhet. This fits one of my favorite categories of common cards, which are commons with ponderous activated abilities. So you can play this down as just a creature that you can attack and block, and then if you have a lot of mana around at some point in the game, you just mana sink into this and deal some damage, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. For green, we have Spider Spawning.
Oh man, Spider Spawning. We're about to go back to Innistrad, and this was one of the most loved cards in the first Innistrad set, because there was a whole complicated draft deck you could draft around Spider Spawning, to the point where now you'll never get it because it's always overdrafted. But a beloved Magic card and a great memory to have here in Mystery Booster.
Awesome. The next screen is Long Shot Squad with Outlast.
Yeah, this one has the Outlast ability, I think, right?
Yep.
This is from Khans of Tarkir. It was fun in Mystery Booster to build in synergies across different cards. And so this is a +1/+1 counter synergy card. And while you probably won't have other Outlast cards, you might have other cards that put +1/+1 counters on creatures. So kind of a cool little bonus build around there.
All right, next up we have Sultai Charm. It's an instant.
Yeah, you gotta love charms. I did a whole video on charms on my YouTube show, Good Morning Magic, but they're just great. They give you such flexibility, and Sultai Charm is from, of course, Khans of Tarkir block, and gives you 3 pretty cool modes if you're willing to get access to all 3 colors of mana.
Yeah. Oh, next up we have a land, Jungle Hollow.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's nice to have just a bit of simple mana fixing, and well, here you go, Jungle Hollow. Taps for 1 of 2 colors and gives you a life.
Yeah. Ooh. Next up we have Aethros, God of Passage.
Oh, awesome. We opened a god. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
This is one of the Theros gods showing up in the 2nd set, I believe. One of the gods. It might have been the 3rd set. I don't recall. But this is quite a popular commander, so that's a hot open.
Awesome. Next up we have a sword. The Sword of the Animist.
Yeah, this is a nice commander card. It gives you a little bit of ramp no matter what color you're playing, which is pretty cool. And you just attack, you go find a land. It's a great ramp card for your mono white deck or your mono red deck, which might not normally get that kind of thing, even your mono blue aggressive deck. And it's pretty nice rare.
And oh my god, Sliv Drazi.
You got it. We were literally just talking
a moment ago
about how this is the one card you wanted to open up. 2 packs. We got Sliv Mizzet and Sliv Drazi Monstrosity. There it is. Wow, looks like I chose the good ones to open with you. That is so exciting. Congratulations on opening it up.
Oh,
That is one of
yeah.
the most hot cards in the set.
Oh my god, I'm like shaking now, but I'm putting it in the sleeve.
Congratulations.
Oh, wow. What? That is, for pack number 2, we are starting spicy.
Yeah, we have 2 playtest card slivers, so off to a strong start. We just got to open up the banding sliver to complete the whole trifecta.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? And I love slivers so much. So this is absolutely amazing. I am so happy.
Yeah, we talked in the interview about how you're a big sliver player, so this is really coming all together. It's all coming up, Alyssa, this morning.
That is amazing. And we're only on pack 2. This pack is amazing. Wow. Huh. That is definitely sleeved.
Yeah, let's get that thing. And that's ready to helm a commander deck, maybe, if your friends will let you play with it. We'll see.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll just continue along the same row, right? Let's hit pack number 3 in the 3rd row.
Yeah, pack number 3. Yeah, I'm gonna try to convince them to like let me play it maybe one time, and I'll bake them a cake or brownies or a pie or something to kind of, you know, be like, hey, it's not that bad. It's just slivers and Eldrazi's with Annihilator.
I appreciate that you bribe people with baked goods. That's always a winning strategy. So
yeah, that's my classic go-to with my play group. That or chip dip. I really like making chip dip on Friday nights.
ooh, good times.
We are starting out with Resurrection.
Oh yeah, Resurrection. This card first showed up in a very early Magic set. I don't know if it was Alpha. I can't remember. It might have been like the Dark or Legends or something. But it's a white reanimation spell, which you don't get a ton of straight up white reanimation spells in Magic. But this is a classic one, and it showed up as a reprint in a handful of sets since. Great way to bring a angel or something like that back to life.
Yeah. And next up, we have Renewed Faith.
Oh, I love Renewed Faith. I'm a huge fan of cards that just cycle and give you a small bonus because, you know, there's once again ponderous, slow abilities that I personally enjoy. And Renewed Faith showed up initially in Onslaught block, saw some play there, and then went on to get reprinted in Amonkhet. And yeah, I'm a big fan.
And I absolutely love the artwork too because it's some nice blue and purple stained glass window, and I just love those colors.
Yeah, I think that one was from, what's the expansion symbol on that? I think it's from one of the dual decks maybe, or
A25.
Masters 25.
Yeah,
so it's from Masters 25, where we redid the art, I think set on Dominaria or Innistrad, on Innistrad, I think, which is really cool.
So nice. All right, blue, we have Invisibility.
Oh, that's a classic card. Make something unblockable except by walls. I think that was in the very first Magic set ever, and it's a fun little aura. It just makes sense. You're invisible. No one can see you except you can't get through walls. Story checks out.
And next up, we have River Serpent as the next blue.
This is something that can't attack unless you met a condition. I don't remember exactly which one this is, so I think you finally got me a little bit of a stumper here.
So it can't attack, you are right, unless there are 5 or more cards in your graveyard. It's a 5/5, and it also is cycling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is from Amonkhet. Nice card.
And next, we have Return Centaur.
This is from Theros block. You know, there was a bit of a graveyard theme going on there, so having a way to mill yourself was nice. And, you know, it goes to show that the returned on Theros are the members of the underworld who have got out and are wandering around Theros. So the mask that you see in the artwork here, if I remember correctly, is depicting the mask that all the returned wear. And this is a returned centaur. Yeah. So it's not a centaur who has returned. It is a centaur who is a member of the returned, which is a little quirk of English there.
Neat. I did not know that. Next up, we have a classic Carrion Feeder.
Oh yeah, totally a classic. Showing up in Scourge, I believe. It's a 1-mana 1/1 that you can sack stuff into. Not only does it grow big, but it's also known to be a lover of infinite combos. Kind of the enabler that makes a lot of infinite sacrifice combos work.
Yeah, and for those who have watched me play my Tasta deck, I have this in here, and it's definitely one of the, you know, numerous combo pieces.
Yeah, big important card.
Next, we have red, and we have the Rage. We have Sharkon's Rage. Deals 5 damage to target creature or player.
Sarkon loves dragons, so this one deals some damage, but if you don't have any dragons, it's going to hurt you a little bit too. It was fun to have a little bit of just a range of red burn spells in the set, and picking and choosing different ones was a lot of fun. And Sarkon's Rage, deals some damage, but at a bit of a cost.
Yeah. Next, we have a Rush of Adrenaline.
This gives something +3/+0?
+2, +2, +1 in Trample. You're very close.
+2, +1 in Trample.
Yeah, for a 1-drop red.
All those red, I have feelings now, combat tricks. I can never keep them all straight. This one is just a nice, simple red combat trick. We've decided red can kind of get 1 toughness on its combat trick, so that's kind of where that comes from.
Next, for green, we have Root Out.
Oh, yeah. I love Investigate. It's a great mechanic. I hope we do more of it in the future. And it's just a nice way to give you like half a card, right? You get your clue token and you'll draw a card sometime, but you can't do it right away. And so stapling that onto effects that people already play with is nice. So you have Naturalize plus a clue.
Sweet. So next we have Reclaiming Binds.
This probably destroys an artifact or enchantment
or land.
Flyer.
Or land. Yeah.
Or land.
And next up we have a Lizard. The Spouting Trinex. And I'm sorry I'm butchering all these names, but yeah, Sprouting Trinex.
Yeah, so in Shards of Alara, it was about the 5 shards, and shards are the allied colored pairs. So white, blue, black, you pick a color and it's 2 allies. So white, blue, black, and so on. And this is from Jund. And there was a cycle, 5 uncommons that were each strong creatures of that shard that cost 1 of each mana. Woolly Thokdar, for example, was the Naya one. And Sprouting Thrinax, which saw quite a bit of play, was the Jund one. So cool to have that reprint here.
Next up, we have a Mirror. The Prelilus Mirror. When it dies, it deals 2 damage to target creature or player.
Oh, poor little Perilous Mirror. Yeah, you show up and you die and deal some damage. A great card to sacrifice, and unfortunately block with and throw under the bus. This card dies a lot. Poor Mirror. Poor little guy.
Yeah. Next up, we have Ascenticium, an enchantment.
Oh, Asceticism. Yeah, this is from Scars of Mirrodin block. This is a throwback to the card Troll Ascetic from the original Mirrodin block, which was a 1/G 3/2 creature that couldn't be targeted and had Regenerate on it. Asceticism is giving you that, but to all of your creatures, and it can be quite a powerhouse. It's very hard to beat.
Fun. Next, we have a Cat Beast, Fedalil Scoverian. Scoverin? Felidar. What are you saying?
Felidar Sovereign?
Yeah.
Felidar Sovereign. Yeah, this one you win the game if you have 40 or more life.
Yeah.
Which is always a fun little build around. So it's cool to kind of be like, okay, can I get there? Maybe I can actually draft around this. And Mystery Booster has a lot of open-ended possibilities like that. So that's really cool.
And for the playtest card, we have Yawgmoth's Testament.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So this is a reference to the card Yawgmoth's Will. It's a play on that. Yawgmoth's Will lets you exile cards from your graveyard and cast them. Yawgmoth's Testament lets you play cards from exile. So the Will and Testament go hand in hand with each other. Fun fact about this card is this card had its artwork changed from Mystery Booster versions. I did a great interview on my channel with Mary Catherine, a person who works at Wizards who manages the Phyrexian language. You can go check out the chat with her about why this card's artwork changed. We had to basically fix some Phyrexian language errors in the art here, which, we care about our language that much.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's interesting. All right. So do we have time for one more?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Let's do one more pack.
So 1, 2, or 3 again.
Oh, I don't know. Let's go back to the middle again. Let's just keep going in a little cycle here. See what we got in pack number 4. 3 great packs already,
Yeah.
We'll see if I can get one of my cards. Maybe I'll call my shot on a Experiment 1 or Problematic Volcano. Excuse me, Experiment 5 or Problematic Volcano. If you're curious about why those are my cards, you can go watch the interview and learn more about it.
Yes. I think it'd be so cool if I pull a bear snake with you.
I would love that.
That'd be funny. All right, so here we go with pack number 4. And we are starting it off with the Hawk, the Eddie Trail Hawk.
Oh yeah, a little energy card. One of the funny things about Mystery Booster is just playing with weird mechanics that you'll not find any more of. This might very well be the only energy card in your deck if you draft it. But it does work on its own, which is great.
And next is Sunlance.
Oh, so this showed up in Planar Chaos, which was all about giving colors things that they don't normally have access to. And we did what were called color shifts, where we took a card and printed it in another color. And Sunlance is a color shifted Strafe, which is a red card from Invasion. Strafe was a single red mana and dealt 3 damage to a non-red creature. Well, Sunlance is the white version of that card.
It definitely gives a red feel for sure.
Yeah.
Next, we have a Drake, a Thunder Drake.
A Thunder Drake, yeah. So this is a 4-mana 2/3 with flying that gets counters when you play your second spell. Mm-hmm. It's fun to play around to try and get you to play 2 spells in a turn. It might make you play a little differently than normal, which is kind of enjoyable gameplay. So I like cards like this.
Yeah, I actually might put this in my Talrand deck.
Oh, there you go.
Next, we have another Drake. We have Shimmer Scale Drake with cycling.
Yeah, I feel like we should put on some Drake music, started at the bottom, now we're here kind of thing. Yeah, so the 5-mana 3/4 with cycling. I love cycling because you can just put it on cards, and if it's early and you need a different card, toss it away, draw a new one. If it's late and that 3/4 flyer is no good anymore, toss it away and draw a new one. So I think this is a cool design. Simple, elegant, works great.
Next, we have, for black, we have Ally Strangler, just with Menace 2/3.
Oh yeah, the Ally Strangler. This is from Kaladesh. Really simple card, 3-mana 2/3 Menace. Mystery Booster couldn't all be wacky mechanics. It was nice to have some simple cards too, but it's very clearly set on Kaladesh, so you get some plain variety when you open your pack from it too.
And next up, we have Fen Holler, an insect.
Yeah, and this improvises, another Kaladesh mechanic. This is the kind of card where it's, you might not improvise it sometimes, but if you have an artifact or 2 lying around, Aether Spellbomb or something, you can use that to improvise this, which is pretty cool. Finding those cross-set synergies is a lot of the fun of Mystery Booster Draft.
Sweet. Next, for red, we have a Gremlin. Runus Gremlin.
Yeah, the Gremlins hate artifacts. They just nom on them. People in Kaladesh hate Gremlins. And what's more gremlin-y than a 1-mana 1/1 that can blow up your opponent's artifacts? Not much. That's this card.
And then for the next red is a Goblin, Fog Fanatic, for a 1 red.
Yeah, Mog Fanatic showed up in Tempest originally and was a staple. This saw a ton of constructed play and also saw play when it was reprinted. Notably, when the damage on the stack rule changed, it used to be that you could assign your damage and then sacrifice this card. It became a little bit weaker, but it's still an iconic Magic card today, and definitely a card I think about when I think of famous Magic creatures.
And I really love the flavor text too. It's the artwork is a goblin falling, and the flavors, I got it, I. So I find that funny.
I think that's been the same flavor text since the beginning. It's very charming.
For green, we have Shape the Sands.
This is, if I remember right, you get a basic land and it has cycling. Is that correct?
No, target creature gets +0/+5 and gains reach until the end of turn.
Wow, well, you got me on that one. Nice to have a little combat trick in green. Important green has the combat tricks.
And the other green is an instant called Harrow.
Harrow? This is showed up many times. First Tempest, then Invasion, then Zendikar. And it's a great way to fix your mana because you turn 1 land into 2 more lands.
Yeah.
One challenge about Harrow, which you have to be careful with, is that you do sack the land when you cast it. So if they counter it, you lose your land and don't get more lands. So I think we tried fixing that with a recent one in Zendikar Rising, maybe. But so that's one note about this card. But in general, it's a fan favorite. Triggers your landfall. Just a cool card.
Awesome. Next, we have a very colorful card called Rock's War Monk. Hey,
we opened this up. That's so perfect. We just opened up the Sprouting Thrinax, which was the Jund one of this, the black, red, green one. Well, Rock's Warmonk is the card in the cycle from Bant, the green, white, blue shard of Alara. And it's a 3-mana, 3/4 lifelinker, pretty good rate. And even saw some constructed play at the time, too.
Cool. And I love how bright the colors are, too, on this card. That's awesome.
Yeah, Bant is a gorgeous place. Great shard there.
And for the artifact, we have Universal Solvent.
Yeah, making sure that there were answers in the set to all kinds of random artifacts and enchantments, no matter what color you were playing, was important. And although it's pretty slow and ponderous, it's nice to have an out in your sideboard to destroy a problematic enchantment or artifact or planeswalker.
Yeah. And we have for an enchantment called Impending Disaster.
Oh yeah, this is our old card frame card, showing up first in Urza block. This plays a little mini game with your opponent. If there's 7 or more lands, everything blows up. The thing about it though is it's so easy to hit 7 or more lands that it's almost like a non-issue. You just play on turn 4 and everything will probably die when you untap. So this kind of card is pretty dangerous. We don't really make a lot of mass LD cards today, but definitely a relic of a different era.
Oh, we have a Desolated Twin, Eldrazi 10/10.
Well, there's an Eldrazi to go with your Slivdrazi monstrosity, right?
There we go.
Get 20 power of cards for 10 mana, not too shabby.
And for the playtest card, we have Buried Ogre.
Oh yeah, this card starts in your graveyard, which is not a thing we would normally do. It's way too strong. It turns on all your graveyard effects. And it makes your deck size 1 smaller, which is kind of funny. But Mystery Booster allows us to play with all kinds of weird stuff, so sure. Thought I'd make this here and give it a try. You can start it with it in your graveyard, then reanimate on the first turn to get a 6/5. Not too shabby.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for opening these 4 packs with me.
Oh, it was a blast. You know, it was fun for me to not just talk about these cards and reflect on them, but also play the mini game of do I know what the card does? Because trying to pull them all from memory was a lot. But I think I got most of them impressively enough. So.
Yeah, you did great. It's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully we can do this again soon, maybe when Innistrad comes out.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun, and I hope all you out there enjoy watching this and enjoy watching the rest of the box opening. And if you have any questions about specific cards, you can always hit me up on Twitter at Gavin Verhey, or go check out my YouTube channel and drop me a comment there. Thank you so much, Alyssa, for having me on.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Gavin, for being here, and I'll put all Gavin's information in the description. And we also filmed another interview in another video here on this channel where we talk about everything Mystery Boosters and the playtest cards. So Gavin, thank you so much for being here again.
Thank you, and I'm sure I'll talk to all you out there very soon.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want more Magic the Gathering content. And please comment what your favorite card was that I pulled today. My top 5 were Liliana, Yawgmoth's Testament with a Phyrexian art, Biting Remark because of Scrycast, and of course, Sliv Drazi and Sliv Mizzet because I love my slivers. And a big thank you to Gavin for being in this video and in my interview video. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, and I will see everybody in the next one. Bye! Bye! Taco time! Let's get taco!